Hey guys, today I'll show you some Nushell settings and menu configurations that are essential for my workflow. And I guess they might be useful for others too. That's $nu.config path, that's how you can find the location of your configuration file. We cd into that directory, and here with ls*.nu we can find all the .nu files in the directory. Let's open config.nu in the text editor. And here we'll see on line number 22 the tag Nushell09. I've put this tag in the config today for the ease of navigation during this show and as a crosslink for the viewers who will be able to see this show later. So I marked some important settings. The first most important setting in my setup is history.file format equals to SQLite. Let me show you what difference it makes versus the default setting value. By using this command, we launch Nushell in an empty directory. This command expands to with env, which sets xdg config environment variables to some empty temp folder. So for Nushell, it's like launching it on a new machine. It will recreate config files with default values, or more precisely with no values. So we launch Nushell and can see how it looks when it starts afresh. Here we can enter $nu.history path and see that it points to a text file. So if we execute some command and then open the history path in the text editor, we'll see our command there. Each command is a new line. This format allows us to easily delete unneeded entries. And it is the advantage of the txt file, but it has disadvantages too. I execute history command, and here we can see only one column, command, with all our entries. And in the second pane, let me show you the history with the config applied. So I execute history pipe +2. So here we see the same column command, and additionally we see 4 extra columns. Start time step, current working directory, duration, exit status. We can use those columns for sorting, filtering, and other query operations. Let's continue. Here we have table period, header on separator equals true. In the top pane we see the default Nushell settings with 3 rows per header. But with the setting header on separator set to true, there's only 1 row, and it looks better. And the config footer mode always makes column names reappear at the bottom of tables. It's useful with long tables and with terms quick select patterns feature. Ctrl+Shift+space in my config. So footer names allow me to quickly paste them into REPL. Now I want to show you abbreviations. It is a newly added feature and I am a happy user. So in the record we get short keys that can be expanded into the full command. Let me demonstrate this in the right pane. cs clod -- dangerously skip permissions. If I write cn, I'll get clod nu. Let's move to custom Nushell menus. A quick copyright note. I didn't invent most of those menus. I either found them in the Discord or in the new scripts directory a long time ago. So I don't remember the source, to whom all the credits should go. This one depends on the history in SQLite format. It pastes recently visited CWDs into the REPL. Here is the code of the menu. And here we can see that we make an SQLite query. So I can paste any entry here or there. What's cool about menus versus standard completions is that they allow using custom filter rules. For example, in this menu, the regex is used, which means that I can enter .files and can see that there are many subfolders present. So I can append the $sign and just filter the menu to the entries that end with .files. And another neat feature about Nushell menus is that they support a bang number shortcut to quickly move to the selection in the numbered entry. And what's even more cool is that from there it is possible to use up-down arrows to move the selection further. So this menu is a frequent use case for me, when I need to copy something into the current directory from somewhere else. If I know that I visited a folder I need to copy a file from, I just call for this menu, choose that folder, complete to the file name, and on the second argument I use period. I use this very often and can't live without it. Well, I can live without it, but not so comfortably. The next one, Alt+O. Strictly speaking, it is not a Nushell menu. It displays the currently present variable names in the scope, so they can be picked and pasted back quickly. Though it shows not all the scope variables, but only those that were set after the config's load. It is achieved by excluding the variable names stored in an env variable, which is itself set by zzz ignore vars in the Alt+O directory. Just to dig a little into details, scope variables getName shows all the variables, and some of them are set during Nushell config's load, and thus they are usually not needed for the quick substitution that I'm demonstrating to you now. So let me show the example. Now we set some lone variable and check scope variables getName again. This variable appeared on line 7, but it is the only one shown in our menu. And the last one for today is a custom key binding Ctrl+V, which toggles rstring around the current command. And notice that it respects the internal pound symbols, so the number of pound symbols in the rstring is higher. What I showed you today you can find in the repo of Cozy, in the vendor.files Nushell directory. You can jump there using our today's tag nushow09 and you can check my other settings if you are interested. I'm going to record more videos on that topic. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.